There's this village in Nigeria where the size of your roof showcases how much money you have to the community.
The higher the roof, the more bigger it looks.
Yes, yes.
Now, if you're wondering why the hell are they building these weird looking mansions, who these people are, why they don't even live in these mansions, you got to watch this video with me. My name is 𝗕𝗏𝗕𝗏𝗕. I'm the how to buy a mansion guy. I've critiqued over 1,000 mansions. It's what I do. Let's get started.
In a certain region in Nigeria, you would find multi-million-dollar mansions like this, and this one.
I'm here and I'm going to investigate why people from the East love to build such gigantic mansions.
I'm going to critique it from a real estate angle because I really relate to the story. What you guys don't know is I come from Iran, and a lot of Iranians, after the Iranian Revolution, they escaped Iran, a lot of wealthy ones, and moved to Beverly Hills. And when they moved to Beverly Hills, they brought their passion for big columns and pillars to Beverly Hills. So they started putting pillars on mid-century houses or modern houses or Spanish houses. Every single house that they would get their hands on, they will add a couple of pillars. So I can totally relate how wacky this architecture looks like from someone's perspective where they come from a country where their standards of beauty is different than us, okay?
I boarded the plane to 𝗲𝗏, the capital city of Imo State. On arriving, we drove for another 50 kilometers. I met up with this couple. They had just returned home to enjoy the Christmas holiday in their 10,000 square meters newly built village mansion.
But guys, just look at this, right? 10,000 square meters of land.
Okay, so it looks like a military compound from this angle. It's completely walled in. It's bigger than all the other houses around it. And it's, what, 4 structures there. One thing I've noticed that almost all of these houses have a watchtower where it's got a second story with a balcony. And I think in this video, you can kind of see people, I don't know if they're holding a gun, but it's got like a military outpost to it.
Nice to meet you, sir.
This is our first time in the house. We started from the foundation. My wife and I measured out the whole landscape where the building's gonna be.
Yeah.
This house,
Built,
100% built, furnished remotely, just using WhatsApp video FaceTime.
Which explains why, architecturally speaking, they're just so out of proportion.
It's going to cost you if you were to get similar land space and similar build over there in the States.
For this type of house in the United States?
Yeah.
20 million.
Minimum.
This is very large.
This is huge.
So look at this. The width and the height of the house are completely unproportioned. Like it's taller than wider, and there's no reason for that because you have so much land and you have so much spacing. It's like too much setbacks if there was such a thing. The sacrifice they're making to show off the roof completely, architecturally speaking, affects not just the look of the house, but also dictates your tighter living spaces when you had so much land to play around with.
Huge.
Yeah, this is first living room.
Yeah.
They call it a wedding.
Look at this small living room. You had acres and acres of flat land, but because you want to go high instead of wide, you're going to end up with a really small living room like this. It's just fascinating.
So this is our main
This is the main area. Yeah. So
sometimes we just hold a little meeting right there.
Yeah.
Okay, this room is bigger, but compared to how big of a lot you have, you could have had a massive, massive ballroom here. But more interestingly, the house doesn't have central air. And I would imagine in Nigeria, it would get extremely hot in the summers, and they just have a wall mount unit here.
This is the kitchen.
Yeah.
This is the handwork of Rawley's signatures.
So what's your favorite thing?
Okay, this is not bad. They actually got Miele appliances, which is surprising. They got, quartz countertops and white. Again, it's not my taste, but not bad.
Oh, okay. So I see like all the rooms have like almost a slightly different touch to it. This one has like...
Okay, the marble is not book matched, but not bad. Again, I'm kind of going with the Nigerian standards. It's good, The interior is better than the exterior for sure.
Yeah, these guys come take a look at this.
These tiles are 4 feet. They were all big slabs.
Oh yeah, they're very big.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like something that's made here in Nigeria.
No. There was only for them tiles. We got them from Italy.
Can I live here with you guys for the whole month?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm welcome, right?
You can always.
The closet space looked good, and the marble in the bathroom was not bad. I didn't like the tile in the shower, but not so bad.
This property, I just want to know the worth. Like, you don't have plans of selling, but if you're going to put this property on the market, how much do you feel it's worth?
We spent about $1 million here.
Wow, $1 million seems pretty cheap. Look, the height of the roof is definitely more than the building itself. And the funny thing is that they don't give any utility. Like, it's not like an attic. It's just an empty space. They're not even utilizing that space. You can see there's no windows on the roof, nothing.
The land area is about 10,000 square meters. I could not spot a single tree.
Okay, so where's the swimming pool? Where's the backyard? Where's the grass? Where's the tennis court? Nothing. It's just a huge compound, and it literally looks like the barracks for the military for me.
Some of these mansions serve as inspiration for a lot of Nigerians.
Guys, look at this. This is like what? 15,000 square meters.
There's way more than
From here, what do you think is the worth of that house?
7 billion.
And the house is just small inside.
No.
Look at this. It's insane. It has 2 water towers. There's one over here and one over here. This is probably the guest house. This is the main house. This is probably the staff quarters. And this is the military outpost, these 2 buildings. It's huge. And this is just empty. And it's part of this property. It's insane.
No. Look at this house. Look at the back.
And again, no tennis court, no utility given to the property, no vegetable garden. You could plant 100 trees over here and made it something really cool, but they've just kind of left it, which is really interesting. Is like they build it, but they don't give it utility.
I went back to the city and I was told to visit 𝗲𝗏 estate. This is an urban area and home to a lot of wealthy
Look at all the roofs spiking everywhere. It's fascinating.
people.
Damn, this is a massive home. So we're at a very lovely architecture right here. It looks like there is nobody living.
So architecturally speaking, they're imitating the Greek and the Roman architecture, but extreme modification to it, where they've brought elements from the Normandy design. These round elements are from the Normandy design. And the funniest thing to me is obviously the proportions are so out of whack, but the pediment over here, which is the equilateral triangle, where in the Greek and Roman architecture, it's a very slanted triangle. It's a lot more subtle, but over here for, wanting to, show their wealth, to push up the roof, that would look weird next to a huge roof. So they went with a really high angle. So these 2 lines were kind of being symmetry, which is extremely interesting, if not funny.
You're the architect, you designed it.
I designed and I built the house.
So what was the concept behind?
Actually, it's supposed to be not contemporary.
It's really interesting. This architect is dictating the architectural style of the neighborhood. And when you think about kids growing up in this neighborhood, they will perceive this style as normal and as luxurious because they see rich people living in them. But if you actually continue watching, you're going to see why these people are even building it, even though they're coming from a lot of foreign countries and bigger cities. And maybe you even know that this architectural style is not perfect, but they're still getting it built. It's fascinating because they're not really building it for themselves. You'll find out.
I like this grandeur cathedral.
Okay, let's talk about the wow factor when you walk in. The staircases are just way overwhelming. It's really tight. It's really narrow. Remember, we're going up. We're not going wide.
This is the dining.
Very nice.
Okay, and this is the kitchen.
Does it have any other kitchen up, or this is the only?
It's a zebra-inspired kitchen. This is pretty bad. I was expecting a better kitchen than this.
Wow, man, guys, look at this high ceiling.
Oh yeah.
Damn, this can take another.
Oh my God, look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You get this tight room where there's a lot more volume vertically than width. And it's all dictated by the fact that you want to show off to your neighbors that you have more wealth.
Wow.
As you can see.
Well, from what I can see, the furnitures are not cheap furnitures.
No, they're not cheap furnitures.
It costs a lot of money. Like this one, like what?
Oh my God, these are so bulky. The huge neoclassical furniture, but I can imagine it's probably very popular in Nigeria. So almost all the houses have the same type of furniture.
This is a dressing.
Oh, it has its own entire. This is not even a walk-in closet. This is like an entire room.
This is a walk-in closet.
This is impressive. That's good. The clientele would want a huge walk-in closet. I'm kind of surprised that the door doesn't open in the center where you could utilize both sides, right? So this side is just empty, but it's a pretty big walk-in closet.
So what is this?
Yeah, that's the bedroom.
Just a standing shower, no.
Tile choices are horrible. I'm surprised they didn't use any marble here. And the mirror looks like a mirror you would use in the living room, not in the bathroom.
Bathtub. How long did it take you to build, to design all of these?
Everything about this, I was within 6 months.
6 months you were able to do this?
Yeah.
If your developer is building a house in 6 months, I would not assume the best craftsmanship.
I was in Qatar a few months ago. Even though it looked like a modern city, I love how they still sustain their traditional architecture without coming off as too modernized. And I wish to live to a day where Nigerians and Africans in general would do the same. Like these beautiful villas I visited and shot somewhere in Mauritius.
This is a really good point this guy makes. By the way, I'm going to have a link to this video on the bottom. So if you guys want to check out his channel and subscribe to his channel, amazing content about Africa. Okay, I recently found this Iranian architect. He's done a really good job using Iranian heritage, cultural elements in his buildings where it reflects the local culture. And it would be cool to see future Nigerians using some elements in their culture and heritage to build buildings unique to their own culture instead of trying to imitate a Greek or Roman or modern architecture where they have to modify it to fit their cultural needs of high roofs.
I then flew to Awka in Anambra, home to some of the richest and famous people in Nigeria.
Okay, here's the part that he actually explains why people are building these mansions.
So who stays here in this one?
My cousins, my auntie's children, all of them, everybody's here. It's the children's section.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is really common in developing world where if someone makes it, let's say from the village to the town or from the country to United States or Europe, for them to build a structure or a house in their home country for their family, and it's kind of expected from you to go back and share the wealth with them. And it brings enormous amount of pride to your last name and your family, where people would say, oh, their family does well. It helps your second cousins to marry well. It helps the whole dynasty to kind of maybe have a little bit of a better trajectory in the future. And I've seen it in my culture, and it's obviously here in Nigerian culture as well.
This is the living room.
The living room. How many bedrooms here? You said there are
7.
7 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Wow, this one has 2 fans. And the Christmas tree is underwhelming. I would have expected a really, really tall Christmas tree because taller is better in this village. But yeah, it's a little disappointing. The furniture is up to par to the rest of the houses we've seen. And it seems like a small room that has a stairway that goes
But
up.
I'm not immediate family. They go to the other side.
The other side. Yes.
Well, this is where we play game here too. When we come for Christmas.
Oh, okay. Family.
Okay, this is kind of weird. The landing area is the family room.
Driving all through these neighborhoods, I was impressed with the type of buildings built, and surprisingly, the owners have locked up their homes and have gone back to the city or abroad.
This is probably one of the most interesting one, where it looks like a racetrack. Look at this. You see this? There's a roundabout here, and then you could like race around your house, which is, kind of like playing Mario Brothers on your property. It's just fascinating. And, the cars can go to this bridge which opens to your front door. It's just bizarre architecture. I've never seen anything like it. I don't even know how to critique it, to be honest.
Why Igbo men love to build mansions in their village?
This whole part reminds me of my own childhood. I was born in Tehran, Iran, but my dad was born in Urumia, which is a city right next to the Turkish border. And his father had gone bankrupt, and he bought his father's house, his family house that he kind of grew up in, from his parents and let them live there for the rest of their life. And then when they passed away, he let his older sisters and other family members to live there for free, because they just never got married. They didn't have a job or anything, so they just lived there. But when we would go to Urumia, we wouldn't stay at that house because there were so many people living there. And when we would go to the airport, there would be maybe like 30, 40 people at the airport waiting for us, for the airplane to land. And once we go to the parking garage, there would be a huge fight over whose house we're going to stay. And you couldn't just go stay at a hotel. It would be extremely rude if you stay at a hotel. You had to stay at someone's house. And we would beforehand, we would tell our parents, please stay at this cousin's house because they had kids around our age and they had a hunting rifle. But this scene where everyone is outside, the whole family's outside and coming in, just reminds me of that.
Our culture,
Yeah.
we believe that if you have whatever you have and it's not come to your hometown,
Yeah.
it's nothing. And they say that corona.
Yeah.
So it is something that is Igbo inheritance. You know, they know. So yeah, it's a waste of money. I can tell you that. It is a waste of money. Don't think that you're going to build a house in the village and you go to the bank and say, hey,
I need a loan.
I need a loan. You're not getting anything.
Yeah.
But the good thing is also a motivation for the young ones
Yeah.
in the village that they can actually work hard and be able to.
Yeah, it makes the dream look possible, right? Like, and that's how the relatives see it. It's like, oh wow, if he did it or she did it, maybe I can do it too. And they're creating jobs, they're creating housing for heritage, for their community. They want to build out the village. They want the village for the next generation to be prosperous, which I absolutely salute them for. And it's a very noble thing to do.
What is it with the Easterners and building like roofs that are going high up like this?
It has the concept of a mansion. You know,
Oh, okay. So
the
they
architectural design.
So they hire the roof. The more bigger it looks.
Yes. Another thing is these guys are abroad and they're throwing money down for someone to build for them. You know, some of them don't even get to see the house until it's finished.
So the architect, that guy we saw in the red shirt, dictates the architectural style of the whole village because he's the dominant builder there. So he decides, you know what, we're going to mix up the Normandy design with the Greek style and find a technological advancement to go even higher on the roof. That just becomes the style.
Because
Yeah.
they are not here.
Now, just to let you know, this roofing style is very expensive.
Can you spot who's the richest person in the neighborhood? This guy. So guys, there's this property that was originally listed for $48 million. Then it got price reduced to $38 million. Ennis did a tour and hyped it up and said it was amazing. The property didn't sell for like 2 years and then went into auction, and it didn't even sell at auction. I have a video on it right here. If you like this video, you will love this one. See you guys in the comments.